Hey there, future interns. So you've got your sights set on landing an internship in 2025, right? Smart move, but the competition is going to be crazy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why we're diving deep into this guide, how to find an internship in 2025, to help you really stand out, snag that dream
Yeah,
opportunity.
you're absolutely right. The internship game, it's totally changed. It's not enough to just,
Yeah,
send out a bunch of applications and hope for the best.
right.
You need a solid strategy.
Okay, so let's unpack this. What's the first thing? What jumps out at you from this guide? What's like absolutely essential for anyone even thinking about applying?
Well, this guide, it really hammers home the importance of a killer resume and portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as your first impression, your chance to showcase what makes you unique and why a company should pick you over everyone else.
Right, but it's 2025. Everyone knows you need a resume, so what's different now?
It's about going beyond just listing your experience. This guide stresses tailoring your resume to each internship you apply for. So you need to be highlighting the skills and achievements that are most relevant to that specific role. And for fields like design, programming, or content creation, a digital portfolio is non-negotiable.
So, like, if I'm a coding whiz, I should have a GitHub profile showcasing my projects, right?
Yeah.
But what if I'm more into graphic design or something?
Exactly. For creatives, platforms like Behance and Dribbble are key.
Okay.
Think visually stunning layouts, sleek website designs, captivating illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
You want to wow them with your talent?
Oh, this is making me think about my own college days. I remember feeling so lost when it came to building my portfolio. I wish I had this guide back then. Okay, so we've got a resume and portfolio ready to go. What's next? Where do we even find these internships?
Well, the guide actually breaks down a whole range of online platforms, both general and specialized.
Okay.
You've got your big players like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, which cast a wide net. But then it gets interesting.
Ooh, tell me more. I love a good hidden gem.
For tech folks, AngelList and Stack Overflow are gold mines.
Mm.
If you're into remote work, check out Remote OK. And creatives should definitely be on Dribbble and Behance, not just for portfolios, but for job hunting too.
Okay.
Oh, and don't forget about Upwork and Fiverr for freelance gigs.
Whoa, so many options. It's almost overwhelming. How do you know where to even start?
It all comes down to your field and what type of internship you're after.
Okay.
Start with the big platforms to get a feel for what's out there, then narrow it down based on your interests. And don't forget about your university's career portal. They often have exclusive listings.
Right. Those university portals can be surprisingly clutch. Now, I'm curious about something. The guide mentions these structured internship programs. What are those all about?
Those are fantastic opportunities, especially if you're aiming for big name companies.
Okay.
Think Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, the giants of the tech world. They offer these structured programs that provide mentorship, specialized training,
Okay.
and a chance to work on real projects.
That sounds incredible. But are they super competitive? Like, do you need to be a coding genius with a 4.0 GPA to even get a look?
They are selective, but don't let that intimidate you.
Okay.
What's important is showcasing your passion and potential.
Okay.
They're looking for individuals who are eager to learn, and contribute.
Okay. That's reassuring. But I'm guessing you can't just apply the week before the internship starts. Right?
That's the catch. These programs often open applications months in advance.
Oh, okay.
So if you're interested in a structured program, start researching and planning early.
Gotcha. So it's all about being proactive and organized.
Yeah.
Now, I know this might sound old school in the digital age, but the guide emphasizes the importance of networking. What does that even look like in 2025?
Networking is still crucial, but it's evolved beyond just shaking hands at career fairs.
Okay.
It's about tapping into your existing networks, both online and offline.
So reach out to your professors,
Yeah,
classmates, alumni from your school, even family friends who might work in your field of interest.
precisely. And don't underestimate the power of online communities.
Okay.
Join LinkedIn groups, participate in industry forums, attend webinars. It's all about putting yourself out there and engaging with professionals in your field.
I never thought about it like that. It's like building your own personal network of mentors and advisors.
Exactly. And that leads us to another crucial aspect highlighted in the guide, which is your online presence.
Okay.
In 2025, it's not just about who you know, but it's also about how you present yourself online.
The dreaded digital footprint.
Ah.
I'm guessing a perfectly curated Instagram feed of vacation pics isn't going to cut it.
Not quite. This guide stresses the importance of a polished and professional LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
Think of it as your digital resume, showcasing your skills, experiences, and aspirations.
So what are some must-haves for a killer LinkedIn profile? Give us the inside scoop.
A professional headshot is a must. A catchy headline that summarizes your expertise.
Mm-hmm.
A detailed summary highlighting your achievements and career goals.
And don't forget to showcase your work. Upload presentations, articles, projects, anything that demonstrates your skills and passion.
It's like creating your own personal brand online.
Exactly.
So we've got our resume, portfolio, online presence sorted. What's the next step? Is it time to start firing off applications?
Hold on a second. The guide warns against that, like, mass application approach.
Oh, yeah.
It's about quality over quantity.
Okay.
Each application needs to be tailored to the specific internship that you're applying for.
Ooh, I see where you're going with this. No more generic cover letters and copy-pasted resumes. Tell me more.
It's about doing your research.
Go.
Dive deep into the company's website, understand their mission, values, and recent projects.
Okay.
Then, weave those insights into your application.
Okay.
Highlight the skills and experiences that align directly with their needs.
So it's like solving a puzzle, figuring out what each company is looking for, and presenting yourself as the perfect missing piece.
Exactly. And that brings us to the part that often makes people nervous, the interview. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, interviews can be intimidating, but they're also a chance to really shine and show your personality.
Absolutely. And this guide offers some valuable insights on how to ace those interviews.
Okay.
First off, be prepared for some classic questions like, why do you want to work here?
Yeah.
Or what skills can you bring to this role?
The age-old questions that everyone dreads. But I'm guessing there's more to it than just giving, like, generic answers.
You got it. It's about going beyond the surface
Okay.
and providing specific examples from your academic or personal life that showcase your skills and motivations.
So instead of just saying, I'm a hard worker, you'd tell a story about a time you went above and beyond on a project or overcame a challenge.
Exactly. Give them a glimpse into your problem-solving abilities and how you've made a difference. Don't just tell them, show them.
Ooh.
And be prepared to talk about your weaknesses, too.
Okay.
Everyone has them. It's about acknowledging areas for improvement and demonstrating a willingness to learn and grow.
It's about being honest and self-aware.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've tackled resumes, online platforms, networking, and even interviews. What else does this guide cover?
Well, it actually touches on something that many students don't even consider. International internships.
Ooh, okay.
Think about expanding your horizons, experiencing new cultures, and gaining a global perspective.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. Working in a bustling city like Tokyo or exploring the vibrant culture of Brazil while gaining valuable work experience? Sign me up. But how do you even find these international opportunities?
There are organizations like AIEC and Erasmus Plus that specialize in facilitating global internships.
Oh.
They can connect you with companies all over the world and help you navigate the logistics.
Wow, I'm already picturing myself sipping espresso in a Parisian cafe while working on some incredible project. International internships sound like a fantastic way to boost your resume and broaden your perspectives.
Definitely.
But what if, like, despite all our best efforts, those coveted paid internships seem out of reach?
Don't despair. This guide has some encouraging advice, even for those situations.
Let's hear it. Every bit of advice helps in this competitive internship landscape.
The guide suggests considering remote or unpaid internships as valuable alternatives.
Okay.
I know it might not be ideal, but think of them as building blocks.
So even though they might not be paid, you can still gain practical skills, contribute to real projects, and make connections that could lead to future opportunities.
Exactly. And for those who are entrepreneurial, internships with startups can be incredibly rewarding.
I could see that. You'd be exposed to a fast-paced environment, wear multiple hats, and witness firsthand the inner workings of a growing company.
You get it. It's like a crash course in entrepreneurship.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground already.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling way more prepared to tackle this internship search. But before we move on, is there like one overarching theme that resonates with you from this guide? One piece of advice that really sticks out?
Absolutely. The guide repeatedly emphasizes the importance of persistence.
Ugh. The good old never give up speech. But seriously, it's true, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
The internship search, it can be challenging with rejections and setbacks along the way, but maintaining a positive attitude, seeking feedback, and continuously learning will set you apart from the crowd.
It's about turning those rejections into fuel for growth, refining your approach, and coming back stronger.
Exactly. Remember, Each application, each interview is a learning opportunity.
Hmm.
Embrace the process, stay proactive, and never underestimate the power of perseverance.
So true.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, we get so caught up in the outcome
Oh, yeah.
that we forget about the journey and the lessons we're learning along the way.
Exactly. The internship search, it's like a marathon, not a sprint.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered the importance of persistence, but I'm curious, are there any specific strategies or tips that this guide offers for staying motivated and focused throughout the search? Especially when you're facing those inevitable rejections and setbacks.
Yeah. It's funny you should mention that because the guide actually dedicates a whole section to this. Yeah. It's all about creating a plan and sticking to it.
Okay, tell me more. I love a good plan.
So first, define your goals. What kind of internship are you looking for? What industries are you interested in? What skills do you want to develop? Be specific. Then, break down your search into manageable steps. Create a timeline for applications, networking events, and follow-ups. It's all about staying organized and proactive.
That makes so much sense. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're just sending out applications into the void. But having a clear plan, it gives you a sense of direction and control.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to seek support from your network. Talk to your professors, career counselors, friends, and family. Let them know what you're looking for and ask for their advice and connections. You'd be surprised who might have a lead or some helpful insights.
That's such a good reminder. It's easy to feel like you have to do this all on your own, but there are people out there who want to help you succeed.
Absolutely. And finally, remember to celebrate your wins along the way, no matter how small they may seem. Landing an interview, receiving positive feedback on your application, or even just making a new connection, those are all signs that you're moving in the right direction.
I love that. It's so easy to get bogged down in the rejections that we forget to acknowledge our progress and celebrate those little victories.
Exactly. So stay positive, stay focused, and keep moving forward. And remember, even if you don't land your dream internship right away, the skills and experiences you gain throughout the search will be invaluable in the long run.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered the importance of persistence, planning, seeking support, and celebrating wins. Now let's dive into the emotional side of the internship search because I know it can be a real roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
How does this guide address those feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, and even imposter syndrome that can come up during the process?
Well, the guide doesn't explicitly address those feelings,
Okay.
but I think it's important to acknowledge that they're completely normal.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of our mental well-being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself out there, you're competing with other talented individuals, and there's a lot of uncertainty involved.
Right.
It's bound to bring up some nerves.
So what can our listeners do to manage those feelings and stay grounded throughout the process?
Well, I think it's important to practice self-compassion.
Okay.
Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge that you're doing your best. And don't be afraid to seek support from friends, family, or even a career counselor.
That's such great advice. Sometimes just talking about those feelings can make a huge difference. It's a reminder that we're not alone in this.
Exactly. And remember, the internship search is just one chapter in your career journey.
Right.
It doesn't define your worth or your potential.
So even if things don't go exactly as planned, it's not the end of the world.
Right. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to keep moving forward.
I love that perspective. It takes some of the pressure off.
Yeah.
And reminds us to focus on the bigger picture.
Right.
Okay, so we've covered resumes, online platforms, networking, interviewing alternative options, and even the emotional side of the internship hunt.
We have.
What else is there to talk about?
Well, there is one more crucial element that this guide emphasizes. It's not just about skills, experience, or even persistence. It's about something much deeper.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's about passion, that fire in your belly that makes you genuinely excited about the work you want to do.
Passion. That makes so much sense. This guide is all about finding the right internship, not just any internship.
Right.
The one that sparks your curiosity, challenges you to grow, and sets you on a path towards a fulfilling career.
Exactly. And when you're passionate about something, it shines through in everything you do, your application, your interview, your day-to-day work ethic.
It's like that saying, do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. Exactly. And I truly believe that passion is what sets you apart from the competition. It's what makes you memorable, what makes you stand out in a sea of applicants.
Okay, so we've talked about the practical steps, the emotional challenges, and now the importance of passion. What's the ultimate takeaway from this deep dive? What do we want our listeners to remember as they embark on their internship search?
I think the key message is this. Don't just chase after any opportunity, chase after your passion. Find that thing that lights you up, that makes you eager to learn and contribute.
Because when you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like a journey, an adventure, a chance to make a real impact.
And that's what internships are all about, right? Discovering your passions, exploring different paths, and gaining invaluable experience that shapes your future.
So as you embark on this internship search, remember to be bold, be curious, and most importantly, be true to yourself.
Let your passion be your guide.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive, but before we wrap things up, I'm curious. You've clearly given this topic a lot of thought.
Oh, yeah.
What's one thing that surprised you while reading through this guide? Something that maybe changed your perspective on the internship search?
You know what really struck me was the emphasis on personal branding.
Oh, okay.
It's not enough to just have the skills and experience. You need to be able to articulate your value proposition and showcase your unique strengths
Right.
in a way that resonates with employers.
It's like you're the CEO of your own career, right? You're in charge of marketing your skills and talents to the world.
Exactly. And it's about thinking strategically about your online presence, networking opportunities, and even how you frame your experiences on your resume and in interviews.
That's a great point. It's not just about what you've done, it's about how you present it.
And it goes beyond just landing the internship. Building a strong personal brand can benefit you throughout your career, no matter what path you choose.
Okay, so personal branding is key. Any other surprises or aha moments from the guide?
Honestly, I was surprised by how much emphasis was placed on soft skills, like communication, teamwork, problem solving.
Exactly. It's not enough to just be technically proficient. Employers are looking for individuals who can collaborate effectively, communicate clearly,
Right.
and adapt to changing environments.
I guess those soft skills are what really make you stand out as a valuable team member, right? They're the glue that holds everything together.
Precisely. And the guide provides some great tips on how to develop and showcase those soft skills during the internship search.
I'm sensing a theme here. It seems like this guide is all about going beyond the basics, thinking strategically, and presenting yourself as a well-rounded individual.
You got it. It's about showing that you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to make a real contribution.
So let's recap the key takeaways from our deep dive. What are the essential things our listeners need to remember?
First and foremost, tailor your application to each specific internship.
Okay.
Do your research, highlight relevant skills, and make sure your resume and portfolio are top-notch.
Don't forget about networking. Tap into your online and offline connections and build a strong online presence, especially on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Prepare thoroughly for interviews, practice answering those behavioral questions, and don't be afraid to ask thoughtful questions of your own.
And remember, there are alternative options like remote or unpaid internships, especially if those paid opportunities are scarce.
Most importantly, be persistent. The internship search can be challenging, but don't give up. Keep refining your approach, seeking feedback, and learning from every experience.
And above all, let your passion be your guide.
Beautifully said. You know, it's funny. We spent all this time perfecting our resumes and portfolios, scouring in job boards and networking like crazy. But then comes the moment of truth, the interview.
Right.
And that's where this guide really shines, you know?
Okay.
It dives deep into how to not just survive the interview, but truly ace it.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
Ah.
What are some of the key takeaways for interview prep that this guide highlights?
Well, first and foremost, it stresses the importance of understanding company culture.
Okay.
It's not just about knowing your skills and experience. It's about showing how they align with the company's values and mission. Do your research, dig into their website, read recent news articles, and get a feel for their vibe.
So, like, if I'm applying for an internship at a super creative startup, I wouldn't want to show up in a stuffy suit and talk about how much I love corporate structure.
Exactly. You want to demonstrate that you've taken the time to understand what they're all about
Right.
and that you'd be a good fit.
That makes total sense. So company culture is key. But what about the actual interview questions? Any tips on how to handle those curveballs?
Well, the guide breaks down some classic interview questions like, why do you want to work here? Or what are your strengths and weaknesses? But it goes beyond just providing canned answers.
Yeah.
It encourages you to tell stories, to give specific examples from your life that showcase your skills and motivations.
So instead of just saying I'm a team player, I'd tell a story about a time I collaborated on a group project and how my contributions help the team succeed.
Precisely. It's about bringing your experiences to life and making them memorable.
Mhm.
And don't be afraid to talk about your weaknesses, too.
Okay.
Everyone has them. It's about being honest,
Hmm.
showing self-awareness, and explaining how you're working to improve.
This is making me think about my own interview horror stories from back in the day.
Oh, tell me about it.
I once totally blanked on a question and just started rambling about my cat.
Oh, no. We've all been there. Interviews can be nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
but the key is to be prepared and practice your answers.
Speaking of practice, are there any specific types of questions that this guide recommends preparing for?
Yeah, it dives into behavioral questions. You know, those tricky questions designed to assess how you've handled situations in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Think, tell me about a time you failed, or describe a situation where you had to deal with a difficult teammate.
Ah, the dreaded behavioral questions. They always throw me off. Any tips on how to tackle those?
Well, the STAR method is a great way to structure your answers.
Okay.
Describe the situation, the task, the action you took, and the result. It helps you provide a clear and concise narrative
Yeah.
that showcases your skills
Yeah.
and how you've grown from your experiences.
That's super helpful. I'm definitely going to try that. But it's not just about answering their questions, right?
Sure.
We also need to be asking them questions.
Absolutely. The guide stresses that an interview is a two-way street.
Right.
It's your chance to assess whether the company is a good fit for you.
So don't be afraid to ask thoughtful questions about the company culture, the team you'd be working with, or the specific projects you'd be involved in.
Exactly. It shows initiative, genuine interest, and helps you make an informed decision.
Okay, so let's say you've aced the interview.
Okay.
You've asked all the right questions. You're feeling good about it. What's next? Is it just a waiting game?
Well, the guide suggests taking a proactive approach and sending a thank you note after the interview.
Okay.
It's a simple gesture
Hmm.
that shows professionalism and keeps you top of mind.
So like a quick email reiterating my enthusiasm and highlighting a key point from the conversation.
Exactly. And while you wait to hear back, don't put your life on hold. Continue networking,
Right.
exploring other opportunities, and honing your skills.
Mhm.
The internship search is a journey, and every step is valuable.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get discouraged while waiting, but it's important to stay focused and keep moving forward. Now, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier. Alternative internship options.
You're talking about those situations where, despite your best efforts, those coveted paid internships remain elusive.
Exactly. The guide mentions remote or unpaid internships as possibilities, but are those really worth it? I mean, I've got bills to pay, you know?
I hear you. It's definitely a tough call, but the guide argues that even unpaid internships can be incredibly valuable. Think of them as investments in your future.
So instead of focusing on the lack of immediate financial reward, think about the skills you'll gain,
Yeah,
the connections you'll make, and the experience you'll add to your resume.
precisely. It's about playing the long game. And for those considering entrepreneurship, internships with startups can be game changers.
Hmm.
You'll be exposed to a fast-paced environment, wear multiple hats, and gain a broad range of skills.
It's like a crash course in entrepreneurship.
Exactly. And many universities allow you to earn college credit for unpaid internships.
Oh.
So you're gaining experience and progressing towards your degree.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So even if those dream paid internships don't materialize right away, there are still options out there.
Absolutely.
Now, is there any parting wisdom
Uh-huh.
from this guide that you want to leave our listeners with? What's the ultimate takeaway?
Well, beyond the practical advice, the guide really hammers home the importance of persistence and a positive attitude.
Right. It's like that saying, it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. But seriously, how do you stay motivated when you're facing rejection after rejection? It can be so discouraging.
I know it can be tough, but remember, each application, each interview is a learning experience. It's an opportunity to refine your approach, to improve your skills, and to get closer to your goal.
So it's about viewing those rejections not as failures, but as stepping stones.
Exactly. And it's about celebrating small wins along the way.
Okay.
Maybe you landed an interview or you received positive feedback on your portfolio. Those are all signs that you're on the right track.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. Persistence, positive attitude, and celebrating those small wins.
Right.
Got it. Now let's switch gears a bit. This guide has been all about the practical side of things, resumes, networking, interviews.
Right.
But I'm curious, is there any mention of the more, let's say, emotional aspects of the internship search, like dealing with anxiety or imposter syndrome?
You know, you bring up a really important point. The guide doesn't explicitly dive into the emotional side of things.
Okay.
But I think it's crucial to acknowledge those feelings.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of our mental well-being.
Exactly. And honestly, those feelings of anxiety or self-doubt, they're completely normal. You're putting yourself out there, you're
Yeah.
competing with other talented individuals,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of uncertainty involved. It's bound to bring up some nerves.
So what can our listeners do to manage those feelings and stay grounded throughout the process?
I think it's important to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, acknowledge that you're doing your best, and don't be afraid to seek support from friends, family, or even a career counselor.
That's such great advice.
Yeah.
Sometimes just talking about those feelings can make a huge difference. It's a reminder that we're not alone in this.
Exactly. And remember, the internship search is just one chapter in your career journey.
Right.
It doesn't define your worth or your potential.
So even if things don't go exactly as planned, it's not the end of the world.
Right. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to keep moving forward.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It takes some of the pressure off and reminds us to focus on the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered resumes, online platforms, networking, interviewing, alternative options, and even the emotional side of the internship hunt.
We really have.
But what else is there to talk about?
Well, there is one more crucial element that this guide emphasizes. It's not just about skills, experience, or even persistence. It's about something much deeper.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's about passion.
Okay.
That fire in your belly that makes you genuinely excited about the work you want to do.
Ah, passion. That makes so much sense. This guide is all about finding the right internship, not just any internship.
Right.
The one that sparks your curiosity, challenges you to grow, and sets you on a path towards a fulfilling career.
Exactly. And when you're passionate about something, it shines through in everything you do. Your
Yeah.
application, your interview, your day-to-day work ethic.
It's like that saying, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly. And I truly believe that passion is what sets you apart from the competition. It's what makes you memorable, what makes you stand out in a sea of applicants.
Okay, so we've talked about the practical steps, the emotional challenges, and now the importance of passion. What's the ultimate takeaway from this deep dive? What do we want our listeners to remember as they embark on their internship search?
I think the key message is this. Don't just chase after any opportunity, chase after your passion. Find that thing that lights you up, that makes you eager to learn and contribute.
Because when you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
It feels like a journey, an adventure, a chance to make a real impact.
And that's what internships are all about, right? Discovering your passions, exploring different paths, and gaining invaluable experience that shapes your future.
So as you embark on this internship search, remember to be bold, be curious, and most importantly, be true to yourself.
Let your passion be your guide.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive. But before we wrap things up, I'm curious, you've clearly given this topic a lot of thought.
Sure. Yeah.
What's one thing that surprised you while reading through this guide? Something that maybe changed your perspective on the internship search?
You know what really struck me was the emphasis on personal branding.
Oh, okay.
It's not enough to just have the skills and experience.
Yes.
You need to be able to articulate your value proposition
Okay.
and showcase your unique strengths in a way that resonates with employers. Think of yourself as a product, and you're creating a marketing campaign to sell yourself to these companies.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
So it's not just about listing your skills and experiences on your resume. It's about crafting a story that highlights your value proposition.
Exactly. You want to think about your target audience, in this case, potential employers, and what they're looking for. What problems can you solve for them? What unique skills and perspectives can you bring to the table?
So it's about understanding their needs
Yeah,
and positioning yourself as the solution.
precisely.
Yeah.
And it's about being consistent across all your platforms, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your portfolio, even your social media presence.
This is making me rethink my entire online presence.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's time to finally update that old LinkedIn profile picture from college.
It's definitely worth taking a fresh look at your online presence and making sure it aligns with your personal brand. But personal branding goes beyond just the digital world.
Okay.
It's also about how you present yourself in networking events, informational interviews, and even casual conversations.
So it's about being mindful of the image you're projecting and making sure it's consistent with your goals and aspirations.
Exactly. And it's a skill that will serve you well throughout your career, not just during the internship search.
That's such a valuable insight. I think a lot of people, myself included, underestimate the power of personal branding. Okay, so we've covered the importance of personal branding, the nitty-gritty of applications and interviews, and the emotional roller coaster that is the internship search. As we wrap up this deep dive, is there one final piece of advice you want to leave our listeners with? Something that you wish someone had told you when you were starting out on your career journey?
Looking back on my own experiences, the one thing I would emphasize is the importance of staying curious
Okay.
and embracing lifelong learning.
Ooh, I love that. It's not just about getting that internship. It's about continuing to grow and evolve throughout your career.
Exactly. The world is changing so rapidly, and the skills that are in demand today might be obsolete tomorrow.
Right.
So it's crucial to cultivate a mindset of continuous learning and adaptability.
So how do we do that? How do we stay ahead of the curve and make sure we're always learning and growing?
There are so many ways. Take online courses, attend industry conferences, read books and articles, connect with mentors in your field, and even just be curious and ask questions.
It's about being a lifelong student, right?
Yeah.
Always seeking out new knowledge and experiences.
Exactly. And it's not just about acquiring technical skills. It's also about developing your soft skills, your communication, your teamwork, your problem-solving abilities.
Those soft skills are so crucial, especially in today's collaborative work environments.
Absolutely. And they're skills that you can continuously develop and refine throughout your career.
This has been such an insightful conversation. I feel like I've learned so much about the internship search and beyond.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, landing an internship is a fantastic accomplishment, but it's just the beginning of your journey.
So true. It's all about embracing the process, staying curious, and never stopping learning.
And most importantly, have fun along the way. The internship search can be challenging, but it's also an opportunity to explore your passions and discover new possibilities.
That's the perfect note to end on. So there you have it, folks. Our deep dive into how to find an internship in 2025.
It really has been a deep dive.
We've covered everything from resumes and networking to personal branding and lifelong learning.
We hope you've gained valuable insights and feel empowered to tackle your internship search with confidence and enthusiasm.
A huge thank you to our expert for sharing your wisdom and insights with us today.
It was my pleasure. Best of luck to all the aspiring interns out there.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We'd love to hear your thoughts and any questions you might have.
Feel free to connect with us on social media or visit our website for more resources and tips.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep into the things that matter to you.